Hunter won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today it's another
For the Stepdads.
Oh, your chubby old stepdads are sitting here with donuts all around them.
Schlitz and eating donuts.
Donuts and Schlitz. Breakfast of champions.
Cardiac arrest at 50. Woo!
I'm way past that, baby.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I wonder, you know what's really weird? I'm not going to say who, but somebody that I know very well just informed me that they had a heart attack and didn't know about it. They went to the doctor, and the doctor was basically like,
"Oh, yeah.
You had a heart attack."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" And it's just scary to think that you could, because I've had some.
Not even know that you had a heart attack?
Yeah. Because, you can think that maybe it's indigestion or acid reflux or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
I just saw on Threads, the little I pay attention to it, a lady, her husband had a stroke and didn't know it.
Yeah.
And it caused blood clots, and a week later he died.
Ugh.
It went to his brain and he died. Just dropped dead.
Living is tough, and the indignity of what happens to you as you get older. Like, if there was a design, I would think that because of a reward for living a long life, things would get better.
No.
But no.
This is the best arguments against intelligent design.
Well, it's just...
If this is intelligent design?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Well, it's like I just read poor Jenna Rollins, whom I love.
Yeah.
Was just diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 94.
Oh,
so she
Lord.
gets to live to almost 100, but then
she's going to lose her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or look at, like, Christina Applegate.
And her daughter apparently has POTS.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Her 13-year-old daughter was diagnosed with POTS. And, man, it's just, yeah. It's getting older blows.
Yeah.
You get to a point in life where you look in the mirror and you say, you know what? It's not going to get any better. It's just going to get worse from here.
You've peaked.
Oh, I
You
peaked
have
years ago.
peaked.
Yes, I'm on the downhill.
It's your slope sliding fast.
Oh, baby, I am an Olympic downhill skier heading for the jump of death.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping to do one last like fight to get in a little better shape before it's just all downhill.
what do you mean?
Like trying to lose some more weight,
Right.
like get in better shape.
Yeah.
Before it literally becomes impossible.
Well, that's the thing. I'm at a point, and I was at this point. I had this same thing during the pandemic, but I was younger then.
Yeah.
But I keep coming to this point where it's like, all right, either you got to get your shit together,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you just got to give up, and you got to make that choice. And
Yeah.
it's like, if I give up, I'll just be fat and sassy, and then move into heart disease and whatever else.
As long as you're okay with that, whatever, man.
I just don't know if I could do it. The thing is I'm really uncomfortable when I'm chubby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a childhood trauma from being fat that I'll always be the
Yeah,
fat kid.
yeah.
And it's like, so when I'm actually fat, it's like,
Right. Well, you're not fat by any
well,
means.
I hide it well with big
You're
shirts.
not fat by any means, Jim. I was always the husky kid. That was always me, having to shop in the husky section.
Husky.
That scarred me for life.
Well, yeah.
And as you can tell, I just don't care anymore.
No, you look gorgeous.
Oh, please.
Gorgeous.
I'm the heaviest I've been in a long time, and it makes me sad.
Well,
But it's weird to me that during the pandemic I was in better shape because I was getting up and getting out of the house every day
Yeah.
and walking every day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that again, but I'm just so busy now.
I get it. But you're still in your 40s.
Yeah.
And so it's still possible.
Right.
It definitely do it now. And those of you, I don't know if we have a lot of people in their 30s who listen, but if you're in your 30s, now is the time to get your shit together.
Set that the healthy lifestyle in your 30s, and then that'll carry you into your 80s.
And it doesn't even have to be that healthy, man. I mean,
No.
I went through my 30s and 40s in really great shape.
Yeah.
Really great shape. But I also smoked cigarettes. And I
Right,
drank a
right.
lot more than I do now and did a lot more other things.
I am falling back on the fact that apparently if you walk like 2 to 2.5 miles a day at a brisk pace, like if you can do it in less than 40 minutes, you will extend your life like exponentially.
All right.
So just 2.5 miles a day. just walking, because it's, being, I don't know if it includes being outside and getting vitamin D and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also really good to walk in the morning, apparently, because it helps you fall asleep better at night.
I gotta need to do that.
It helps with your circadian rhythms.
That's another thing, man. I've had on and off insomnia my entire life, but it's just weird. It's not even an insomnia. It's just kind of this anemic sleep, I guess I'd call it, where you have a little bit of sleep. It's not really a REM cycle, and your body is
quite get to the REM cycle.
Your body gets to the point of sleep, but your mind never fully gets into that deep REM, which you need to not go insane.
Right.
I'm starting to get circles under my eyes, man. That's crazy.
Wow. Welcome to my world. I've had those for years.
Yeah, I've had a cup of coffee, a Red Bull, and then I'm having another cup of coffee.
That's too much. I had a cup of coffee, and it was almost too much this morning.
I'm like more caffeine than man at this point.
You do a lot of caffeine.
I love it. I love coffee.
We do have to do one major correction.
I
honestly don't even remember when I said this.
I don't know.
But I saw this factoid literally like an hour before we recorded. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I brought it up, and Jim was very surprised.
And very skeptical, but I went with it.
Very skeptical, which is, you were right to be skeptical.
Well, the thing is like, usually when I'm like, well, wait a minute, isn't it this? And you're like, no. And then we look it up, and you're right.
Yeah.
I'm usually wrong. So I decided on this one, even though I was like, okay.
It was just me. This is the power of social media.
It sounded just outlandish enough to be true.
Right. We're talking about how supposedly in No Country for Old Men, someone called up James Brolin thinking that they were trying to get Josh Brolin.
His agent.
And they called the wrong guy, and they just go, okay, the Coen brothers of all people, who we know are such control freaks.
Meticulous planners.
and they were just like, okay, we'll do Josh. Literally the second we stopped recording, I was like, wait a minute, I've read the book?
Yeah.
And the character that Josh Brolin plays is the age.
Yeah.
Wasn't an old man.
That's what I thought too.
It wasn't like they were trying to, according to the anecdote, they weren't trying to call up his father to do the cop role.
Right.
Like, it was just calling up to do the character that Josh Brolin was going to play. And apparently I looked it up, and it was Josh Brolin, I think, during an interview, was just so bored that he just made this up, that it was like, oh, they actually wanted my dad for the part.
I love him.
But
he's hilarious.
So wrong. Don't listen to what Facebook says.
Well, because first of all, it's the Coen brothers who aren't willing. Like, they literally put ums and ahs. What we talked about with Peter Stormare. They're very particular about every single pause in their script.
They have beats. They are so meticulous.
Very, very particular about who they cast.
Yeah.
Almost Quentin Tarantino like, where they write stuff for different actors.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that not only would they have to get Josh Brolin in there, but they would have to recast his wife.
Right. Kelly MacDonald. She's so good. She's so good. But it was all just a bunch of BS. And I don't know why. It was funny because I had just one simple Google search, and everybody was like, this is so not true.
It's the most egregious error we've ever made.
Yes, I feel...
well, that's fine. Look, everybody gets one. We all, like I said, it's just weird enough that it might be true.
That is why I was like, oh, but,
there were a lot of little things that were like,
Much like most social media advice and factoids, if you just peel back one little layer of the onion, it all falls apart.
Facebook is evil.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
That's why your aunt is insane. And your uncle is insane.
That's why your uncle's not allowed to come to Thanksgiving anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what a fun month, man.
Yeah. It was big movies, blockbuster movies that are just fun. Is some of them you liked more than others?
Well, it was another June Doom, our third annual, where we destroy the world 3 times over if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And look, it's funny because I didn't love Independence Day when it came out. I enjoyed the spectacle. I enjoyed the communal. I enjoyed the communal experience of seeing it in the theater with a bunch of people. Opening night, 3:00 in the morning. It was really fun. But as I've gotten older, I've grown to really appreciate it for what it is. I really like it.
Yeah. I originally loved it just because of the massive scenes of destruction.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
it's my favorite thing growing up was watching things blow up.
yeah, well, I don't think anybody's going to see Independence Day for David's dad. David! But yeah, I mean, that was fun. And Mars Attacks,
It's just a brilliant movie.
every time I see it, I enjoy it more.
It is. It makes me sad because it is so misunderstood, and most of the people that talk about how they don't like it, they haven't seen it or they haven't seen it in a long time, and I that is the one that I wish people would watch again.
Same.
So good.
Such a great cast, such a fun script. So the performances by some of the greatest actors
Yeah.
in our country's history.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. Now, unfortunately for me, I was really looking forward to seeing Armageddon because I had not seen it since it came out, and I did not like it. I if you listen to the show, you know that I'm not a fan of Michael Bay. Michael Bay to me is on the same par as Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
For me, which I find them both soulless. The commercial directors
each made one good movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did. Which one was? Oh, the Pain and Gain.
Yeah, Pain and Gain. Yeah. What was Michael Bay? Yeah, Pain and Gain.
and
Which,
Gain.
Granted, came much later in his career, which is very odd.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with Zack Snyder, it was his first movie. He kind of,
Peaked.
peaked early.
Well, both of them aren't writers. And
No.
I don't think Michael Bay has ever really written
No.
anything of his, has he?
No, I'm sure as a director he probably
Put his
adjusts
stank on it?
Yeah. But I mean, no, like I don't think he's ever gotten writing credit for anything.
But Zack-
although maybe Pain and Gain.
Okay. But that was based on a true story. I mean, that was based on a real
on an
event.
article. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Pain and Gain, I wholly recommend
It's
it.
also one of the better movies that Dwayne Johnson's done.
Yeah, who was he? Was it
Dwayne
Mark
Johnson,
Wahlberg?
like Mark Wahlberg, I think.
Mark Wahlberg, his wheelhouse is dummy, and he plays dummy really well. Look, he knows dummy, and he plays dummy really well.
Or he plays really angry really well.
Right.
Like in
Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still kind of a dummy.
Yeah. Definitely not a bright man.
No, but he was an angry dummy. And Dwayne Johnson playing a dummy, it's fun to watch because his wheelhouse, too, is really small. And, you know, he's basically, his acting skills come down to the eyebrow.
Yeah.
If he can't raise that was the one thing about watching Black Adam. It's like, oh, he wants to raise that eyebrow so bad. And I think he got to do it once. And it was just like...
That was such a...
Anyway, but Pain and Gain, good performances by both those cats, and a really good job by
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
He did not write it. It was Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think he's written anything. At least Michael Bay knows to stay in his wheelhouse, so to speak.
Yes, which is renting 1,000 cameras and putting them in every conceivable
Shooting
nook and cranny.
Over 1 million feet of film for every movie he shoots.
Yes. So I was sad. I was sad about Armageddon because I was really hoping that I had softened.
Right.
And I could appreciate it for what it was and enjoy it for the big, dumb spectacle that it is. But, man, I hated that movie.
Couldn't get past it. Yeah, it's one of those, again, much like we talked about in the episode, I can't disagree with anything you're saying, but the nostalgia factor for me is so high on that movie that it doesn't matter. Like, I'll always enjoy it.
I 100% understand why people like that movie. I get it.
Yeah.
And it is laboratory engineered to elicit emotion.
Yeah.
And it does.
You're just essentially saying I'm dumb.
No, I'm just saying I'm soulless. I don't have
I
any
disagree.
emotion.
I think the reason that I liked it so much was much like you were talking about Independence Day at Washington at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, I had the same experience where everybody was seeing this movie early.
Right.
And so everyone was way excited about it.
If you didn't
and it
listen-
made it a better,
Yeah. If you didn't listen to the Armageddon show, Adam got to see it in an advanced screening.
Yeah, in the middle of Iowa.
Yeah.
It was so weird, but it worked. And that's part of the reason that it did really well.
It was brilliant. I mean, that's good marketing.
Good
It had great marketing. Better marketing than Deep Impact.
Deep Impact, yeah. Although Deep Impact did okay.
Yeah.
It did well, but
people love seeing stuff get blowed up.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, most of these disaster movies are ridiculously stupid. Like, was it The Day After Tomorrow or?
No, The Day After Tomorrow, where everything freezes
Yes.
with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
Yeah. He gets chased by wolves in the middle of New York and everything's ice.
And he gets chased by Frost, and he outruns Frost.
The best in that movie, though, that is definitely a movie you can watch if you watch it with friends because it is a dumb movie. But the best is that I was fully expecting when they showed the giant like supercell like storm for it to have like a mustache and just twirling its mustache like I'm evil and bad.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie.
No. I mean, most of these movies are pretty stupid. Twister, stupid. They're all stupid, but the one thing that they have are decent special effects and good destruction, and people love to see destruction.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. Look, I'm not a slow down and look at a car wreck kind of guy, but I will.
I'm a slow down and take pictures kind of guy.
And then pleasure yourself to them later.
This is not Crash. We are not doing Crash.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Good movie, though. It's just funny how some movies you soften on and you can really enjoy, like even Highlander, which I know you hate.
Which everything you said about Armageddon can be applied for me to Highlander.
And you're right.
Yeah.
But again,
there's a nostalgia factor.
And there's, Clancy Brown being weird, and then
Yeah. I mean, there's always good, positive things about it. I mean, your impression of Christopher Lambert is the best thing to come out of that movie.
I got your head for off. For islanding.
But that's the whole point of June Doom, is that they're just destruction movies. And it's movies that you're not expecting to go in and be like, oh, I'm going to watch Amadeus. It's like
it's not Schindler's List. It's not going to change your life.
Pure, and especially these three movies are just pure popcorn movies.
Yeah.
Go in, let it go. That's why I love Mars Attacks so much, because it has such deeper meaning and deeper layers.
Yeah.
But you can just watch it as like a goofy movie.
It's like The Simpsons. You can watch it on two different levels.
Right.
You can watch it surface level, or you can pay attention, and there's a lot of, or South Park, or any good satire. Right. It's the dummies and the smarties can both watch it and enjoy it for their own way.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. But it's fun. It was fun.
I guess the biggest takeaway from this month is watch Mars Attacks if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a while.
Find it. Buy a DVD copy of it and put it on. It's so much
for
fun.
$5.
Yeah.
$5.
So good. It's so much fun.
Cup of coffee.
It's so good. It's just so much fun. I mean, even just thinking about it right now, I want to sit down and watch it again.
Yeah. If you're the type of person who really likes satire and likes very clever subtext in your destroying movies, this is the one for you. But I that was the most fun I've had. The most fun I had this month was watching.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And like you said, I would watch it again today.
Yeah.
So good. Anyway, so that's our pick.
Yeah. But speaking of movies, what movies been watching this month?
Well, let's see. I watched a couple of movies, older movies. I watched the unbearable.
Oh, the unbearable weight of massive talent. Yeah.
That was really fun.
With Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal was so good in that.
It is a phenomenal movie.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun. And I had a great time. I had really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Nick Cage poking fun at himself.
Oh, yeah. That's always the best, is when Nick Cage is willing to make fun of himself.
And the young Nick Cage that he talked to was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because he got to just be that Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And just like, but it was very fun. I know it's an older movie, but it just started streaming, I think, on Peacock.
Peacock, yeah. It was on like MGM Plus or something forever.
Right.
And
I think Stars.
Stars, or whatever.
Everything that I want to see goes to Stars. The Ghostbusters movies, the John Wick movies.
A lot of the stuff now, the MGM stuff, is just annoying.
They should just quit everything and get Stars.
Yeah.
It seems like everything I want is on Stars.
Yeah. And then Stars is going to go away.
Yeah, I know. But yeah,
But it's available on Peacock, yeah.
Yes.
Highly recommended.
That was really fun. I started watching The Hitman. Is that what it's called? On
Hitman.
Hitman.
Yeah, the Richard Linklater
Yes,
movie.
with
Yeah.
that Powell kid that's in everything now.
Glenn Powell, who is just like that weird thing in Hollywood where it's I literally, when Hitman came out, I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
And then Phoebe was like, oh, he's in the new Top Gun movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's right. And then suddenly there's like 5 trailers of him with like all this, and I was like, what is going on?
It's like Timothée Chalamet,
Timothée-
where he
Timothée.
just showed up and became a star. It's like all of a sudden, beep, boop, blip, blip, blip,
Yeah.
out of the factory,
was-
ready-made stars.
and I like Glenn Powell. He seems interesting.
Very likable.
I haven't seen him enough stuff to be like, oh, he's good.
He's like a cross between Brad Pitt and Ryan Gosling. He's got the looks of Pitt and the charm of Gosling.
Yeah. I mean, he seems interesting. I mean, and it always, whenever these things happen where suddenly they appear in like 5 different movies, it always makes me very happy for those actors of like, hey, it's happening. It's finally happening.
And it's, that he's probably been working really hard for like the last 10
course he
years.
has.
It's never
Of
an
course he
overnight
has.
thing.
Yeah.
It just so happens that an actor gets cast in a bunch of stuff and then they kind of come out at the same time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
Well,
ready-made star.
This is one of the things that people that aren't in LA or aren't in Hollywood don't understand is that Hollywood is technically a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have only so many casting agents and casting agencies.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, I just had this guy and he looks really good and we just cast him in this. And suddenly they're like, oh, yeah, he'd be perfect for this. There's little small talk and gossip between all these different departments.
Well, it's the catch-22 of, you won't get a part until you get cast. You won't get cast until you get a part. So, and then once you break that cherry and once you get in there, once you bust the door down and you're inside the party, as long as you don't start throwing your poo around, you get to stay in the party.
Yeah.
And it looks like Glenn Powell's joined the party.
So don't throw your poo, Glenn Powell, whatever you do.
But unfortunately,
so Hitman.
It was just the conceit based on a true story, his story, interesting.
Yeah.
Really cool, a guy who works for the cops, is kind of an independent contractor doing surveillance stuff, and then by a set of circumstances has to go undercover and pretend to be a hitman.
Yeah.
He has a talent for it, so he becomes the undercover hitman guy.
Fake hitman. Yeah.
Right. Totally interesting. Until he meets this woman.
Oh.
And then it becomes that thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just, that's when I just got bored. And I'll finish it, but I was like, why am I watching this? Why?
Yeah. I really like Richard Linklater. I think he does really interesting projects. I find him to be kind of similar in my mind as like Guillermo del Toro, where I'm kind of waiting for him to do a better movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's done good stuff, but like he's also like, some of his stuff is just boring.
Sure. But Dazed and Confused is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to cover that.
Sure.
And we'll find out why you don't like it. But
I haven't seen that in a long time. And it's not that I don't like it. It just didn't impress me as much as it did other people.
I guess for somebody who grew up in that era and whose sister had the whole paddle thing going on.
Sure.
It was very, I guess, nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
But also it was very true to the time of just how bullying was sanctioned.
Right.
and expected.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you that he's kind of hit or miss. And this just seems like he lost steam with the romantic. The romantic side of it just seems very cliche. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll be different.
Right.
I don't think they have great chemistry.
Right.
That's my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just not as. It's just kind of like, oh boy, I want to see him doing his stuff, and it's like, okay, I can see where this is going.
Right.
It's telegraphing what's going to happen, and oh boy, and so I'll finish it because it's hard for me not to. It took me like a month to finish Dune. Dunes.
Well,
but I did.
Yeah.
But I was really looking forward to that movie, and I was kind of saving it because I thought we'd watch it on movie night.
Yeah.
But we have so many other movies stacked up, I figured it would be okay.
Yeah.
And I'll finish it, but I just wasn't into it.
That's cool. I understand. One movie I did watch, even though I did not watch a ton of movies this month, was Under Paris.
Yeah.
The shark movie. We had a friend over in town, and we were like, hey, let's watch this movie. It's going to be goofy and fun. And we were eating, and I was like, I can't watch this dubbed while I'm eating. So I put I can't watch it subbed.
Right.
The subtitles. It's hard for me to read while I'm eating. So I was like, we're doing the dubbed. And shockingly enough, it was still Really well done movie.
It's
The
a good time.
Dubbing was not bad.
I watched both. So the first time I watched it, I watched the subbed.
Yeah.
And then the dubbed.
The original French.
And, I mean, usually dubbing is really,
Not good.
well, either not good or very, you can tell that it's dubbed. It's very apparent.
And
that-
it's not that you couldn't in this, but they did do a better job of matching kind of and maybe it's just because it's French. Because most of the movies I watch dubbed are either Korean or Japanese.
Sure, same.
And it's much harder
Right.
to match,
Yeah, because it's just
Yeah.
a lot less time.
Yeah, the roots of the languages are so different.
Exactly.
It's like, but with French, it's not as bad.
Yeah, I forgot that I was watching
Yeah.
dubbed at points.
Yeah, but it's a fun movie. There were certain characters that I just absolutely hated.
Yeah.
And it worked so well at the end.
It's no secret to anybody who listens to the show that I love shark movies.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite genres. Jaws is one of my absolute favorite all-time movies. I love Deep Blue Sea. I'll watch a shark movie. If, I'm not going to watch Three-Headed Shark or any of those like
Sharknado.
D level. I've watched a couple of the Sharknado movies, but it's just, it was
Not. They're just bad.
once they realized they were campy and then leaned into it, it
Yeah.
got really awful because then it's just, then you're just doing
It's
it
not
for the camp.
Yeah, that's not funny. It's
No.
playing it straight is funny.
Well, not knowing that you're making a horrible movie is what makes a camp movie
Right,
great
right.
because everybody is earnest and serious and they come out with this piece of poo
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
unintentionally hilarious.
Right.
And yeah, I've tried to watch, I think one of those, I think Six-Headed Shark was our friend.
Mark
in
was
that?
in. Yeah, I think so.
Mark was in one of the many-headed shark movies.
One of the Asylum movies. Yeah.
But B movie, C movie, shark movies, I'll watch. I'll
Yeah.
watch. I've tried many a shark movie. I've turned many a shark
Yeah,
movie off.
yeah.
I think Black Damon was one of them.
Oh.
It was like a shark movie on an oil rig, and it was because of the actor in it that I couldn't watch it because he's one of those guys that I'm not going to embarrass him. Look it up if you want to know who
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Plus, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to embarrass me, I suppose. But yeah, it was because of him that I couldn't watch it. And
Yeah.
the effects. The effects have to at least be, up to 2,000
Yeah.
levels. It can't
Yeah.
be I'm watching, some guy on Toaster or whatever.
Right.
Is that the
No.
Blender?
Blender.
It's I don't want to watch some guy making a shark on Blender and then throwing it in.
Well, and honestly, you could do a shark movie with Blender and it would still look good, but it's just that a lot of people are just not good at it.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're making a shark movie, your money should go to the shark.
Yes.
Put
the money to the special effects.
And Zom 100 with that walking shark.
Oh, that was brilliant.
One of my favorite shark things.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I really enjoyed Under Paris because it had all of the good. It had all of the things a good shark movie needs.
Yeah, it definitely hit those points.
Big sharks with some sort of weird mutation that
Yeah.
makes them extra
They
ornery.
get super big, super fast.
You need the government villain.
Yes.
And this was such an homage to Jaws.
It was cool that they actually had the mayor of Paris play herself.
God, she looks so much like her.
It's so creepy.
So much like her.
was
And,
so creepy.
and apparently the mayor of Paris is pretty crappy too.
Yeah, she's not a good person.
Not very liked. Not liked. But yeah, I'm Trump all of a sudden. But it had the unlikable politician. It had the group of quote unquote terrorists that wanted to save the shark.
They were think they're doing the right thing, but they're not.
And then you have your heroes, the traumatized shark victim from the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
who's got nothing to lose but revenge on the mind.
Yeah.
And it was just very interesting. It was intricate. It had just enough snootiness, a little Paris snootiness to give it some cred.
Just enough, yeah.
But great shark kills. The whole part in the catacombs with, when they were trying to get the shark out with all the kids.
Yeah.
Great.
And my absolute favorite thing. All right, I'm going to do a spoiler, so just jump ahead 30 seconds.
Spoiler alert.
The absolute favorite thing of any movie, the bad guys won.
Yeah.
That is so brilliant.
Yeah.
All of that work, and it was nope, none of it worked.
Well, the nature one.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, the sharks were the bad guys.
Well, the mayor was the bad guy.
Yeah, well, okay.
Because, yeah, she wanted the Olympics.
But the fact is that the heroes were trying to stop the sharks.
Well, the grossest thing was people were swimming in the Seine.
Yeah, I know. It's so gross.
It's just, you know what's so
full
funny?
Of grossness.
Because that whole story is parallel to what's really going on.
Right.
Because the Olympics are going to be
this summer,
in
actually,
Paris.
in about a month.
And they are going to have part of one of the races in the Seine. So the mayor was like, I'll swim in the Seine. And so she gave the date of when she was going to go for a dip. And then everybody online got together and decided they were going to poop upriver in the Seine. So she's swimming in poop.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, I'm going to delay it. But then gave another date.
Yeah.
So then they'll just save up the poop for another date.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really, if anybody thought that Parisians were erudite or somehow more sophisticated than us, no. They're going to poop in a river as a protest to their mayor.
God, literally anything happens, they all come out and then burn buildings down. They're just like, yeah. I mean, they have more protests and more revolutions than any other country in the history of the world.
Raise the retirement by 1/2 of a year, and and Paris burns.
And then what is some guy, some French countryside farmer, takes his truck full of poop and sprays it all over the courthouse or whatever.
So crazy.
Like, I mean, it's such a great movie.
It is.
Highly
it's very
recommend
fun. Great performances, and for some reason, critics didn't like it. But you know who did like it? Stephen King.
Yeah,
Stephen King
because
loved
it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It was fun. Stephen King is not. He is not erudite. He can be, but he appreciates good entertainment.
He appreciates things for what they are.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect B movie, shark movie.
Yeah.
Great summer. I've told this 1,000 times. I love on July 4th watching the Jaws movies because these kind of shark movies just scream summer to me for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess because you're going in the water because it's hot. But yeah, this one, I 100% recommend Under Paris. You could watch it either dubbed or subbed. Both ways are good.
If watching it in French turns you off, watch it dubbed. It works.
Yeah,
it
definitely
totally works.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's our movie pick of the month.
I did finally finished Godzilla -1.
Great.
Talking about good special effects for
God.
almost no money.
Yeah.
Oh my God, such a good movie.
That movie is my favorite of all modern Godzilla movies.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Hands down, because the monster was PTSD.
Yeah.
It wasn't Godzilla. Godzilla was kind of ancillary to the tale.
It was like a countrywide PTSD.
Well, it was kind of like dealt with what happens. You know, survivor's guilt of Godzilla.
Right.
You know, a guy that could have possibly stopped all this right away with a few good shots from the plane's gun. Who knows? Could have pissed him off, and nobody knows.
He might not have been dead.
But in his mind, he could have stopped it all.
Right.
You know, and it was such a brilliantly told movie, not just a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
but
no,
just
I was talking to somebody about it over the weekend, and it's amazing that you can take Godzilla out of that movie and it'd still be a really good movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it was really good.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
If you haven't seen that,
Highly recommend it. And that one you should watch subbed because the dubbing is terrible. Oh my God, I tried, and it was like no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that'd be a really good double feature.
It would, yeah. Godzilla -1 and Under Paris.
Get yourself some
super fun.
some wine and some cheese.
Grill up some burgers and
Yeah.
some hot dogs. Sit down, watch some moves.
Yeah, so watch Under Paris and have a little wine and a charcuterie board. And then get yourself some sake and some sushi.
Yeah,
and do a little double do.
Yeah, it's fun. They were fun. They're both really good movies.
Yes.
TV shows.
I watched a few TV shows. There's one I want to talk about that I'm really surprised. There's been no press about it. And I'm pretty sure it's the ending of the series because it seems like it is.
Okay.
But Sweet Tooth came back.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan of Sweet Tooth. It's based on a graphic novel, I believe. And it's about in the future there was this thing in a cave or something. It's hard to explain, but children became mutants, but they became hybrid children of
hybrid
animal
animal,
and
okay.
human. So Sweet Tooth is like a deer boy.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a pig girl, and there's, all sorts of different kids. And the first 2 seasons, there was like this one big bad, and then in this season, Rosalind Chow plays the bad guy. And it's really interesting because she has these daughters, this whole thing going on. But what's really weird is Rosalind Chow just did an interview on The Daily Show. And the whole interview is actually hilarious because she and Ronnie Chang are friends.
Oh, yeah.
And she just roasts him throughout the whole
Nice,
thing. And to the point where he's at the end, he's like, we've got a 3-body problem because it was he and Desi Lydic and her doing the interview. But she spent the entire interview talking about 3-body problem.
Right.
And Sweet Tooth had just been released.
Sweet Tooth at all?
Not mentioned once. At the very end, she's also in Sweet Tooth. It's a much more substantial role than it is in 3-Body Problem.
Right.
And I don't know. I guess it just kind of came and went and disappeared. I don't know why.
I remember that they made a big deal about it in the first season, but then I think there was some negative press or like some mixed reviews.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, but I'm pretty sure you're right. I think it's just the 3 seasons. And that's it. It's like a full story has been told.
Yes, and it does end very satisfyingly.
Yeah.
And I think I really enjoyed the series. It was unique. It was something different than I hadn't seen before. The way that they deal with the apocalypse. The characters were very complex. And Will Forte plays kind of a complex
really
character.
Interesting. Wow, he actually does some acting?
He does. I think Will...
Just scream at people?
Well, I mean, he was great in Nebraska. Will Forte is like...
I know.
He's just such a goon.
He is.
It's hard to take him seriously because he's such a goon.
He is.
But yeah, I would recommend that show. It's flown under the radar. If you like weird apocalyptic sci-fi with a kind of a rosy veneer, but also a really deep, dark undertone.
Okay.
It's a very unique and interesting show that I recommend.
Okay.
I definitely think you should.
I'll have to check that out. Especially now that I know that it's done and complete.
Yeah.
Netflix is so good at just not finishing things.
Yes. Yes. Or
which is
half-assed.
Part of the problem with 3-Body Problem is that they were like, nah.
Well, now it's going to be 3 seasons, apparently.
3?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
I think. It keeps changing.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Whatever.
Another show that kind of dropped off that I started watching again, because I think this is the last season, is Evil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Evil is a really, really good show. I started watching it because a very good friend of ours, Marty Matulis, is one of the stars. He plays all the monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And does an amazing job.
Oh, he's so good. He's so good.
And so I started watching it just for him, but then got hooked. It's got an amazing cast. It's got Mike, is it Coulter? Mike Coulter from Luke Cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Michael Emerson from Lost,
Yeah.
who's just delicious as
He's
the bad guy.
always so good.
And when he plays a bad guy, and when he like revels in playing the bad guy,
yeah.
he is so good in this. And Christine Lottie,
Yeah.
whom I love.
Yeah. She's really good.
She is so sexy in this for like a 70-year-old woman. It's crazy. But she plays the mother of Katja Herbers, who's the star. She's been in a bunch of stuff.
That name sounds really familiar.
I think she's from... she was in Westworld.
Okay.
She's from the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
From Amsterdam. So she plays American, but she's kind of doesn't, she's got that
Little
off.
Yeah. A little uncanny valley.
But she's great. She's great.
Yeah.
You also have Andrea Martin.
Okay.
From SCTV, who plays a nun, who's fantastic. Asif Manvi, who was great on The Daily Show, great comedian. Just a really...
How many seasons has it been?
The 4th season is airing now.
Okay.
And I'm on the 3rd. I watched the first 1.5 of the 2nd season and then kind of dropped off.
Right.
And then now that I've gotten back, it's riveting. And look, it's got a lot to do with the Catholic Church and demons and stuff. That usually isn't in my wheelhouse. But Katja Herbers, I'm not saying it right. She's like a atheist, and she's a doctor who works with the Catholic Church. She works with Mike Coulter, who is a priest or becoming a priest.
Right.
And Asif Manvi, who's another scientist, and he is also, I believe, he was a former Muslim who's now a agnostic or atheist. And they go around and they investigate possessions and demons and, stuff for the Catholic Church. But there's also this other thing going on with the Catholic Church. There's all these moving parts that are really cool and satisfying. There's all these weird little mysteries and just grounded by these amazing performances by really great actors. I believe it's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
So I've been really enjoying catching up with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish that up.
I'll have to look to see if it's ending or not, because I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I mean, it seems like it's probably building towards something.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Evil. Check it out.
Evil. All right, yeah.
It's on both Netflix and...
the old seasons, I'm guessing, are Netflix. The new ones are probably airing on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I think at least the first 2 are on Netflix, if not the first 3. And then all 4. I think the 4th one is still going on now, finishing. Yeah. Those are all on Paramount Plus.
Nice.
This is like the closest I get to like old man CBS stuff. But Criminal Minds Evolution came back.
Oh.
And it's the reboot of Criminal Minds, which lasted for like 11 seasons. And this is the second season of that reboot.
Oh, okay.
And it's for Paramount Plus, so they can swear. And
so it's not airing on CBS.
I don't believe so, because there's a lot of F words.
Oh, really?
But it's really good. Paget Brewster is on it, whom I love, and she's just perfect on it. And you've also got Joe Mantegna. Yeah, he's great. And, the cast is really interesting. I love the show. I loved Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
I love, SVU. I've got a soft spot for procedurals.
Sure.
Especially like either serial killer or, special victims unit.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and like the big bad in this one is really interesting.
Okay.
And they have to use the killer from last season to help them, like Hannibal Lecter style.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's good, and for me, I just love those shows. So it's perfect. Thursday afternoon, eating lunch. Right. Watch my watch my stories,
watching your stories.
And then the last show that I want to talk about is the new season of Boys. Came back.
Yes. I still need to watch Gen V, and I do want to watch it before the 4th season of The Boys.
Well, you don't have to.
I know, but I want to.
You should. I mean, it does.
From what I've read, because I didn't want to get too far into it.
Yeah.
But from what I've read, you can skip it, but things in season 4 of The Boys will make much more sense.
Yeah.
And be much deeper if you have watched Gen V.
I mean, so far, not too much.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. One of the grossest things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's saying a lot for that.
That is saying a lot for that show.
It's not like gross, like a wiener exploding or a lot of the,
They already did that.
Right.
They're not going to do that again.
It's just gross in a very disturbing pink eye kind of way.
Well, this was literally the show that the first minute and a half of the show had the main character's girlfriend essentially be vaporized. It was in slow-mo, and it was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. And it was literally in the first 90 seconds of the entire series.
Yeah, then you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So it's more of the same. I really enjoy it.
I'm very excited to watch it. Because
it's great.
It is the superhero shows that I've been wanting since I was little.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is apparently there's a lot of people upset because they didn't realize that it was satire and that Homelander was a bad guy.
Oh, God. Of course. These are the same people that thought the Empire should have won.
And there's one of the main characters has a homosexual relationship, so people are losing their mind over that. But it all makes sense, and that relationship is leading to something that's going to be crazy, I think. But yeah, Boys, quality as good as ever.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the trolls.
Yeah, whatever.
And then just one last one. What do you think of The Acolyte?
It's fine. I mean, I don't really want to judge it until we're done with it.
Yeah.
I haven't. It's been good and bad. Mm-hmm. Like, I definitely like where they're going with it. I like the fact that it's set 100 years before episode 1.
Yeah.
The actors are good. I really like the guy from
Squid Game?
Squid Game, yeah. He's really good. And the lady that plays the twins is
Wasn't
really
she
good.
from Hunger Games? She played Rue?
She was, yes. I think she was...
Rue?
I think it was Rue. Yeah. I think that was her.
Little Rue.
Yeah, but then also like the girl from
Ipanema?
no, the girl from Logan is really good. Like she's in a bunch of makeup, but like she's really good. It's interesting. I mean, I like where it's going, and I'm curious to see. I feel like they're doing the show to try to fix issues in episode 9.
Well, it seems like a lot of these shows are designed to make episode 9 not as preposterous and stupid as it is.
Somehow he came back.
Yeah.
A
lot of retconning.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see where it goes.
Same. I'm enjoying it. I love the fact that there's a Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see that very often.
And he didn't see him for very long, unfortunately. But here's the deal. When I was young, all we wanted was more Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
What we had were 3 movies, horrible holiday special that disappeared after its first airing, 2 subpar Ewok movies, and a crappy cartoon show about droids.
Right.
So if you think that this is a horrible show and ruining Star Wars, you don't know what it's like to live in the Star Wars drought, baby.
Anybody that says anything as dramatic as it's ruining Star Wars is an idiot.
It's stupid. It's this toxic fandom,
they're not even
man.
worth. It's much like anybody that is crazy toxic. You give them more credence by talking about them.
Well, the thing is, too, this toxic fandom, which is, to me, ridiculous. Like, F you. You know, either you like it or you don't, and the hyperbole is stupid. But the social media has exacerbated this to the nth degree because everybody is a keyboard warrior and can get on and anonymously say whatever the hell they want. And it's usually these trolls. It usually comes down to racism and sexism and homophobia.
Yeah.
You know? So it's an allowed contention of a very small group of people. And don't listen to them. Make up your own damn mind. I mean, it's the same thing with the Under Paris. You know? Watch it yourself.
Do what I do, not what Jim does. Do what I do and just ignore all of that crap. Ignore it.
I try. But
enjoy the stuff you want to enjoy. No one needs to be gatekeeping anything that you enjoy.
Well, none of this stuff hampers my enjoyment at all.
I know, but I mean, I don't have that extra stress of having to deal with that shit.
It baffles me. It's the same reason why I'm very curious about serial killers, very curious about the darker sides of humanity. It's just what drives someone to just hate everything all the time.
I don't know. And honestly, I just don't really care.
I don't know. I do. I guess I do care. I guess I find it fascinating. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. I've enjoyed all the Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are better than others. Yeah. But like, it's cool to have a lot of Star Wars.
It is. I
mean, there's just stuff. It's obviously these people care about the properties. They care about what they're doing. I'm excited for the Jude Law show that's going to come out sometime in the fall.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to see the end of The Acolyte. I'm the next season of Andor leading into Rogue One. Like, that's going to be great. I'm excited about it. If things happening now ruins your memories, then you need to seek help.
Yeah. Just don't watch it. Go watch the stuff that you like. It doesn't negate. The stories don't disappear or evaporate. If you haven't watched it, give Acolyte a shot. Don't listen to the jerks.
It's interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to see how it fits into the larger narrative of the universe.
I saw a really funny interview with Daphne Keane, who is the girl from Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Who plays Jackie Lawn or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, she's got the horns. She's got white face.
But she was saying with the makeup on, she can't do any eyebrow acting. And she's an eyebrow actor. And it just keeps her thing stay. So she's like, she was talking to one of the actors and she's asking, well, can you see my eyebrows? Can you see the move? And they're like, no. And she's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it was very funny and very charming. She seems, she just seems like one of those people that really enjoys what she's doing and is having a lot of fun. And that's, again, most of the people in this show are great, man.
Yeah, look, it's good. Give it a watch. If you don't like it, stop watching it.
Exactly. There you go.
Easy
peasy.
For me, this is my favorite time of year because this is when there's a lot of filler for TV, and that usually means new game shows.
Oh, yeah. You are a game show fiend.
I love game shows. We did a whole month a few years back. But there's 2 new game shows that we've been watching. One of them is pretty good. The other one is not so much. The first was The Quiz with Balls, which literally, I know. It's just 6 family members. They oppose each other. They usually try to do like a West Coast, East Coast thing or whatever.
Right.
Jay Farrow hosts the
Okay, from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and he's fine. He seems a little nervous, but like he's fine. But the whole idea is they get asked a question, and then there are 6 options, and 5 are correct and 1 is wrong.
Okay.
And they essentially have to line up, and then to find out what the answer is, these giant balls roll down a hill, and if you're wrong, it'll knock you into a pool.
Okay.
That's the whole concept of the show.
That is the
It
stupidest
does
but
not
most
go
fun thing I've heard.
any deeper than that. It's just that as you progress, like there's more wrong answers than right answers, and you potentially could win $100,000 at the end if you guess in succession all 5 correct answers in the bonus question.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nobody's done it yet, but it's not bad. It's entertaining, but I wish that they would they'll do it's 4 the answers are right, and then 2 will be wrong, and it's like I just want them to give more information because a lot of it's like obscure stuff, and I was like types of cheese, and I was like I've never heard of 5 or 6 of these, and it's like but then they don't explain what they are, and it's like I just wish they would get a little more
In depth
in that, like just random graphics and things, and they definitely could, but I feel like they're making the game for pretty cheap. Costs a lot to build a set with a giant pool, I guess.
I get. Well, they could just use the wipeout pool.
I know. But it's fun. It's fun. It's not bad. It's fun to watch because you can play along. But better.
Do you have like a big ball that Phoebe will like roll down and hit you with if you're playing along?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
Because
we have a pool.
We do. We could. I mean, we could try to set it up. But a better show. The Quiz with Balls is on. I think it's airing on Hulu. It's on one of the networks. Better though is a show called The 1% Club, which
Is that the Patton Oswalt?
hosted by Patton Oswalt, who is an amazing host.
Oh, I bet.
He is so good with people. He is very fast on his feet. He's very clever.
Yeah.
It's essentially 100 people. Every show, it's 100 new people. And they get asked a series of questions that, like, the first question is 90% of the people that answered got it right.
Right.
All the way down to 1% of them got it right. And you potentially could win up to $100,000.
Oh, okay.
But there's it's more in depth in that there's you essentially get $1,000 stake, and if you lose, then that money goes in the pot, or you can use it to pass on a question, and then you technically don't have it if you get it wrong and you're done.
Right.
But it raises up the pot at the end.
Okay.
It's really fun because I don't know how many times, like the 50% question I've gotten wrong and then gotten all the others right.
Oh.
Like all the really hard ones correct.
Yeah.
And it's random logic questions and it's a really, really well done show.
Cool. I'll have to check it out. I really like Patton Oswalt.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Has he hosted a game show before?
I don't think so.
I'm really surprised because he seems very natural.
Yeah.
Fit for that kind of.
He's just really good, and he's just so personable with the people, because he considers himself to be one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen him do stand up a number of times, and he just has this charm.
Yeah,
it's so good.
He parlays the nerd thing into a very charming persona.
Yeah. And the really cool thing about the show, and we haven't done it, but you can actually download a 1% Club app and then play along.
Oh, wow.
And as you watch the show, play along.
Do you win some money?
No, I don't think so. I haven't downloaded it. I don't know. But it's fun. I'm just glad there's some new game shows that are actually entertaining.
Yeah.
And this one's a little more, part of me is like, man, they had to, I think they did at least 10 episodes. It's like, where was I? They need 100 people for every episode. Where was I?
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying out for another game show.
Yeah. I still haven't watched the one I was on. I lost horribly.
I want to see it. Not because you lost, just because I like to see you on the thing.
Awful. It was awful. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I might be too old.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
I still get casting notices from game shows.
The first and the People Puzzler, the one that I sat there for 10 hours and did nothing. The first guy they pulled up was an older guy. He was just very outgoing.
Well, I can be outgoing.
I know you can be outgoing, but you totally should. Other thing that I want to talk about, because it's hilarious and I love him, Jimmy Kimmel is not hosting for the summer.
Right.
He's taking vacation, and so they're having a guest host every week, and this was the first week of this week ending on the Friday that you're listening to this.
Yeah, he does this every year.
He does this every year. He goes to spend time with his family and travels, but he is having a guest host every week, and this first guest host is Martin Short. And Martin Short is one of the funniest men alive.
Holy crap, man. His monologues were great. He had Steve Martin on.
Steve Martin randomly pops on. Just listening to them roast each other is so great.
It's the coolest friendship.
Yeah, there's so much, because it's so, just the back and forth is so biting, but they just love each other to death.
Oh, yeah. And look, Jiminy Glick is back.
Yes.
And
yes.
Jiminy Glick interviewed Bill Maher on his show. I'm kind of soured on Bill Maher. I used to watch him all the time. It's just kind of laborious now. But that interview was one of the funniest things I've seen in the longest time. And it's just so funny to see people try to kind of like act like they're being interviewed for a few minutes, and then just, there's no way, and they just lose it.
He tried. Look, I am not a fan of Bill Maher. I've actually been to his show tapings twice.
Yeah, me too.
But the last 4 or 5 years, Bill Maher I think is so out of touch, and I don't like watching him. But I did watch the Jiminy Glick interview.
Yeah.
And Bill Maher tried so hard to control that interview. He tried so hard. And the best was when he was giving this really long answer, and then he just starts laughing, and the camera cuts to Jiminy Glick, and he's just sleeping. It's so great. But I will say, it was really funny, but even funnier to me was his interview of Bill Hader.
Yes.
Bill Hader did not. He knew from the outset, he was like, you're going to be the funniest thing I see in forever.
Yeah.
And Bill Hader just laughed the entire time. It was great.
There's no funnier character. There's no funnier character, I don't think.
No.
Martin Short is one of the funniest human beings on the planet. But as Jiminy Glick, his timing, his comebacks.
It's so great.
The way he's
so fast.
It's just hilarious to the point. It is an assassination almost.
Yeah.
And some of the best comedians and actors just can't stop laughing.
No, I wouldn't be able to. It would be
the stuff that comes out of us. Not just that, the way he eats donuts, the way he sits, the physicality of the character.
I've never seen Bill Hader more disgusted when he spits out the entirety of the donut. He's like, I'm going to save this for later. Bill Hader's just, no.
Hey, why do you... I am so glad that Jiminy Glick is back.
Yes.
I laughed so hard watching both those interviews.
Yes.
And he's just a master. I watch monologues and stuff from talk shows. I don't really enjoy, as you all know, I don't like knowing things about actors that I like, so I don't necessarily watch a lot of interviews. Politicians, authors, that kind of thing, sure.
Yeah.
Because I think they're more interesting and they have usually talking about something of substance.
Yeah.
But I will watch Martin Short interview people because his persona is just so arrogant and dismissive, but it's not real, of course.
No.
He's so good at being a show business person.
Right.
And playing showbiz. He is the last of the great showbiz masters to me.
Yeah.
Great guest, a great host, a great interviewer, great characters, amazing improvisational skills. And the guy's in his 70s.
Yeah.
And he's still top of his game.
That was the as of this taping, we haven't been able to watch yet apparently Jiminy Glick is hosting on Thursday, the entire show.
Oh.
He's doing the entire show on Thursday night. So if you're listening to this right now, get on YouTube. You can watch Jiminy Glick. You can watch Jimmy Kimmel puts all of his stuff online.
Yeah. You
don't have to have any kind of other streamer. But I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
Just the bit from last night where he was doing how do you have so much energy? And he just drinks those little energy drinks.
Yeah. With cocaine.
He's just running around breaking stuff.
He is definitely going to die on stage.
He's going to have to.
And it will be the way he wants to go. But he is going to die on stage. Hopefully in 20 years.
Yeah, give him another 20 years.
I hope he and Steve keep doing their stuff.
Well, all that. Well, I should say, part of me kind of hopes that he had Martin Short on because of them, or Martin Short had Steve Martin on for the fact that they're going to do another like tour or something. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I do know that there's a new season of Only Murders in the Building coming up in the next 2 quarters. So
it's in August.
August, yeah. So, I mean, and Steve Martin said he's only going to be doing, at least acting-wise, only going to be doing Only Murders in the Building. I don't think that rules out him doing live shows with Martin Short.
I hope so. I mean, they're so great
together. It'd be so great to see them.
The Only Murders looks really funny because apparently the new season, they're making a movie about the first season.
Oh, really?
And Zach Galifianakis is playing Martin Short.
Nice.
And Eugene Levy is playing Steve Martin.
Oh, nice.
And Eva Longoria, I think, is playing.
Oh, really? Selena Gomez?
Like, yeah, and they're like,
oh, that's funny.
They're like, we had to go with an older actor because everybody thought that somebody so young hanging out with old men was really creepy.
Oh, God, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
All right. What about games? What video games have you been playing?
You know, I've been playing Sniper Elite 5. I finished that, and I'm doing the DLC. I think I've had my fill of killing Nazis. Yeah. I'm getting to the end.
Never.
It is a fun game. It has this weird X-ray effect where you get to see where your bullet hits these Nazis in a very graphic way, which never gets old, apparently. But yeah, I'm nearing the end of that. But I have been playing a lot of indie stuff lately. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about this game. It's from a few years ago called Sally Face. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of ran across it in one of the sales. It looked interesting. Man, that was a great game. And I finished it. I don't usually finish the indie games for some reason. I'll succumb to the charms for a while and then get kind of bored or find something else shiny that'll take my attention. Yeah. But this was such a great late night game. The story is great about these. I don't even want to talk anything about it because I think you should experience it from start to finish. But it is extremely unique and it's extremely creative. So many different kind of genres creep in.
Nice.
And the characters are great, and the relationships with the characters are great. And it was really funny because when it ended, the screen comes up. And I'm used to, 40 minutes of credits, when you finish a game. And this was just one page. It was like, thanks for playing. And I'm the guy. And I think
it's
only
just me. It was probably
one person or a few people put it together, which makes it even more impressive. But it's there was like a secret ending. But there was a bunch of crap I have to do. So I just looked at it on YouTube. And it wasn't even that secret or whatever. But it was very, very good. Very intriguing. A lot of puzzle solving. Okay. And some really challenging puzzles. Yeah. Some puzzles that, were pretty easy, but some that were like, there's certain like safe codes, keypad codes that you have to find, and there'll be like some numbers and stuff, and you'll think, oh, it's just these numbers, but then it'll be this number and that number, and then you have to add those numbers together, and then, it's a little bit more elaborate. Okay. But I really just got sucked into this, and it's just this kind of little story that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Nice. And I loved it. I can't recommend it enough. If it comes on sale, get yourself
It's on my wish list, yeah. Right, it's like $15 on the PlayStation Store, and I'm pretty sure you can get it on Steam to play it on PC. Yeah. But $15 is not bad. I'll probably wait until it goes on sale again. Yeah. But it's on my list, so I mean, I'll definitely...
It's like 5-6 hours maybe. Yeah. If you... And I didn't get everything. I didn't... there's certain collectibles in each chapter, as they call it. Right. And I didn't finish everything, but it's something I'll definitely go back and play again, just because the story was so complex. I'm sure I missed a lot. Yeah. But yeah, can't recommend it enough. Cool. And then I also picked up on sale something that you had played before, Midnight Fight Club.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Such a fun movie. It's so addictive.
Game. It's
such it's like a movie.
It really is. It's like a John Wick fantasy film. It's basically, the story is, S is going down this night, but shit's going down, and it's told the main character is in police custody, and they're questioning him, and so it's kind of like him telling the story, but then you play through the stages, and it's just this fight game where the more elaborate the moves and the stuff that you do, the better your score is, and you unlock stuff, and it's fast moving, and it's one of those games that is just, all right, I'll just do one more.
Yeah,
I'll just do one more, because each thing takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah, each level is about 5 minutes.
About 2 to 5 minutes, because some are really short.
Some are fast,
And it's just a really fun, fast-paced kind of John Wick fighting game.
Yeah.
It's a top-down fighting game, and man, it's super addictive, and it's just really fun. I think you can get it for like $10 or $11 now.
Yeah, it's so good. It goes on sale quite a bit, but it's so good. It's so good. It has great art design.
Oh my God,
It looks so good.
Yeah, and the music is really great, and it's just pumping soundtrack that keeps you going.
Yeah. It actually has a really good story too.
Yeah,
I was impressed with it.
Yeah.
I did finish it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's a good story.
I'm really enjoying the story. I'm really enjoying the gameplay. It's just a really fun. It's a great game to pick up if you want to just play something for a half hour, an hour.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of time. You don't want to get involved in something. You could just pick it up for a few minutes, do a couple of chapters, and then. But be warned, it'll be hard to put it down because it's super addictive.
Yeah.
I picked up a couple other indies I haven't really played yet. One is called My Story of Us. It's narrated by Patrick Stewart. The art style is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just this kind of, again, I think it's an allegory for Nazi Germany and the persecution of the Jews.
But it's robots.
But it's robots.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as horrible. But what I've played so far is really interesting. You play as 2 characters, and they hold hands. Mm-hmm. One character can sprint, and the other character can duck.
Yeah.
And one character can use a slingshot. And so you have to use...
figure out how to...
Solve puzzles and stuff.
With the 2 characters.
And there's sneaking and different things. And so, yeah, it's it really, really interesting, fun game. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Cool.
Again, great indie, great art style.
Yeah.
It was $3.
Nice.
Less than a cup of coffee.
Well, I'll have to pick that up.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that cheap.
$3. And then I also picked up for 74 cents.
Oh, yes. I picked this up too. I haven't played it yet.
Doorbusters or something. What's it called?
Door Kickers.
Door Kickers.
It's Door Kickers, like American Carnage or something.
Yeah. It's like an 8-bit door. You play like a SWAT guy.
It's like a side scroller thing.
Yeah.
But you can do co-op, and you can do co-op together online or couch co-op. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to jump into it yet, but it's 74 cents.
74 cents. And we should definitely do co-op on that. I think that would be really fun.
I think that'll be super fun.
And then lastly, GTA 5 Online. GTA Online.
Yeah.
They just released a new update. I haven't tried it yet. It's just the problem is we're getting close to GTA 6. There's not a lot of people working on the GTA 5 online stuff anymore. So the updates, we used to get these great updates with heists and stories and Dr. Dre,
like actual plots.
Yes, and it was almost like you played through a movie, and it was just this big thing. But the last few updates have just been these kind of anemic. You buy a business, you do a thing, there's no real story to it. And this one is you get a bounty business and, you hunt bounties. It looks fun. I'll give it a shot.
I tried it last night. Got super frustrated.
Yep.
It turns out I watched the guide video that TGG does.
Yeah.
He's one of the big GTA 5 guys.
Hello, everybody.
YouTube. Yeah, I think he's either Australian or from New Zealand.
Yeah.
But it turns out the one bounty that I did last night is literally the stupidest one.
The hardest one too.
Yeah. And he had some pretty good tips with you don't have to drive the van all the way there because it'll just appear next to you and all that stuff. So I was like, okay. But at the end of the day, I mean, I got frustrated because the cops came in and just murdered me, and I was like, okay, what am I doing? But his final judgment on it was that he's like, this isn't really a good way to make money in the game. So it's like there's really no point to it.
He said it's fun. It's fun to play. And, at this point, it's like, who cares about making money?
Yeah. I end up spending almost $5 million GTA dollars on the bail and all that. I was just like, all this stuff. I was like, whatever.
Well, that's the thing, too, is ever since GTA Plus and the shark cards, the economy in GTA has become ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
cars are way too expensive. The businesses are way too expensive. And at least like
Yeah.
with the older businesses, you would have the Cayo Perico heist that you could do, and you could get your money back.
Well, yeah, you can't even do that
You
now.
do 2 or 3 heists with your friends, you
was
get your money back.
That was one of the best things about the lockdown
Yeah.
was that you and I and our friend Mike doing these Cayo Perico heists.
Yes.
And it was like we became one of the best heist squads.
Yep.
Because it was just like clockwork, bang, 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 through.
We'd do a heist, then we'd go to my suite at the casino and have a party and
Yeah.
invite all the people in the in the online thing to the
Yeah.
party, and some people would show up, and yeah, it was a blast. And
But you can't even that as a moneymaker now doesn't even exist because they've nerfed it so
yeah,
bad.
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. The success of GTA Online has so many really bad consequences. The worst of which is that there was so much. There was like 3 or 4 or 5 DLC expansions they were going to do for GTA that they canceled.
Right.
One was like Trevor being a secret agent, which sounds extremely
wow.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that subsequently killed any sort of DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2 because they
Right.
figured they would do the online thing for that, which I personally enjoyed more than GTA when it first came out, or not first came out, once they kind of
It got through that.
smoothed out all
Growing
the
pains,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Growing pains.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, I don't know how we can monetize this.
Yeah, they were literally
So-
like, we created this thing, don't know how to make money on it, so we're not going to spend any more on it.
Exactly. So it's very the worst thing about Rockstar now is the greed and the lack of attention paid to single player players.
Yeah.
And as much as I've enjoyed GTA Online, and I really have, I mean, I've loved
Oh
it.
yeah, I mean we've been playing it for 10 plus years.
It's the trade off is really unfortunate because the DLC for GTA 4, the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and the Damned were great.
Yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah.
The Undead Nightmare for Red Dead 1 was
Yeah,
great.
fantastic.
One of the best DLCs ever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's just they do DLC so great that it's just a crime that they're not.
I know,
and
I know.
And that means, and so I'm really curious about GTA 6.
Right.
What's that going to look like? I mean, are we going to have like monetization out the gate where
Probably.
there's like paywalls for levels or something? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be
I don't think it'll
bad.
get that. No. I don't think it'll get that bad. Either.
But I think, I think there's probably going to be a forced subscription service for the online thing.
Probably.
I think. I mean, that seems like where it's going. The one thing I will have to say about GTA Plus, it's like they raised the prices, by the way.
Oh, did they?
I think it's like an extra $1 or it's like $6.99 or
$6.99,
$8.99. The one thing that I will say that added value to it is that they offer other Rockstar games for you to play. So you can
Right.
play Red Dead 1, or you could
Right.
play the GTA trilogy,
Right.
or, different games. So that adds, I still
A little bit of value.
not going to subscribe.
No, same.
But it's sad to see something that was so robust
Right.
kind of whimper
Yeah,
towards the end.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of it's just because so many of them are working on GTA 6.
Yeah.
And it's just not, they're still like, we got to do something.
But GTA 6 is still a year away.
I know.
You know? And I'm really curious to what's going to happen with GTA Online when GTA 6 comes out. Now, I would think that the smartest way to go was to let everybody keep their character, keep all their stuff,
Yeah.
upgrade it to whatever the next gen
Yeah.
graphics are, and then you take a plane to the new city,
Right.
and
right.
you don't get your cars and stuff because you got to buy new stuff in the new city.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
buy new cars. You got to buy new clothes.
I mean-
you got to buy new.
Honestly, at this point, I am perfectly fine with just starting over
Yeah.
again. Like, okay. I feel like the GTA 5 online world has run its course.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with starting from scratch. I mean, it'd be great to have the same character and all that, but I don't have a huge attachment to it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do, just because it's been the same guy for
Yeah.
10 years, and I would hate
Sure.
to, give up all of the stuff that you accumulate. I mean, it's like you got yachts and
Yeah,
houses.
no, I
and-
agree, and I don't think that's ever going to go away.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't at least, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. I'm sure Rockstar will screw it up somehow.
Yeah.
I finally started playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes!
After purchasing it in January, a full year after it came out, I finally have sat down and started playing it, and it is so much fun.
It is.
Man, it is so much fun.
Yeah.
I have never been more immersed in a world that I know really well.
Yeah.
You know, like I've read all the books, I've seen the movies, I've been to,
The school.
The school. At Universal,
Yes.
like walking around there, and the one in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've been to both of those. Most likely, in a couple weeks, I'm going to be going to New York. I'm probably going to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway.
Wow.
Most likely, if I can find affordable tickets. But I've never seen it, and I actually have the screenplay or the play. I just have never read it. But and the new show. They're going to be doing a new show. Like, I'm curious about all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this game is just so. The story is so good. I haven't. It's been a long time since I started playing something, and something happened in the cutscene where I was like, "Whoa!" And there was such a great moment in the first 4 minutes of the game that it's so much fun.
Great customization, great combat.
I love even just the basic, when you shoot the basic, force thing, not do any spells, but it's just the taking off the hit points. Just the fact that when it hits something, it does that kind of weird liquidy, it looks so cool.
I just looks so cool. The flashlight mode on there.
The Lumos, yeah. But it's good. I'm really excited about it. I mean, it's fun. It's the first game in a long time, big game that I was like, oh man, I need to spend time playing it today.
Yeah.
I got to carve out time to play some.
Yeah, I'm looking for my next big one.
Yeah,
I've just been kind of. I don't even count Sniper because it's just as kind of
yeah. I mean, that's also something you could just pick up and play for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's just killing Nazis. Yeah. But I think, watching you play Hogwarts a little bit, I think it's time to really hit Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah. I've
been watching some videos about it and kind of getting back into it. I don't know why. It scares me because of my RPG FOMO.
Yeah.
Which is debilitating at times.
Yeah.
But I can just spam save it and do whatever I want. It's
right.
I think I need to get to the point where I can be in games like I am in real life where whatever happens, and I'll just deal with it. And then, and then I can always play through it again. And Baldur's Gate 3 is definitely a game that is designed to play through multiple times. Right. Because there's so many different things and so much packed into it. But honestly, I've been a little bit, tentative about playing it because it just seems
huge.
So big.
It is. It's very intimidating.
And what I've played so far, I've really enjoyed, and I love the dice rolling aspect to it and the narration. It's just it's an amazing game, and it's totally in my wheelhouse. But it's just really weird how
you
I
should
just kind of dance.
You got to get back into it.
Well, we'll find out next Stepdads if it did. So I guess your big. It's on sale too now. Is Hogwarts?
Yeah. In fact, I think it's on sale for cheaper than I bought it in January.
Probably,
but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
It's a long game. It's not going to take forever to get through it, but it is just so. There's so much to do. It is so much fun,
and you don't have to do everything. You don't have to do all the DLC. I did not finish all the side quests. I didn't finish all the the stuff that gets you more. Inventory or whatever because I never really needed it.
Yeah. I have a tendency to sell things off very quickly in the game.
So if you don't have it and you're a Harry Potter fan, definitely pick it up. I would say Sally Face.
Yeah.
It's worth $15, but if you want to wait for it to be on sale, I totally get it.
It'll totally be on sale again.
And Midnight Fight Club is on sale right now for $11, $12 or something. That is definitely a great game to have in your library if you just want to jam in, get some adrenaline, get some action going for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
if you got 20 minutes to play a game, perfect game to have.
Yeah. Super fun. All right, well, that's all we got.
So watch Under Paris.
Yeah, watch Under Paris and Godzilla Minus One.
Do a double feature. Yeah. Get yourself some sushi, some sake, and some wine, and some charcuterie.
Yeah.
You're going to have weird poops the next day. And then watch Boys.
Yeah. Watch Sweet Tooth. It's a complete story. This is the thing everybody wants.
Yes.
You
It's
can
3
binge
seasons,
binge
30
over.
episodes.
Yeah.
You can finish it in a month.
And I highly recommend the 1% Club. It's a fun show. There's only 3 episodes out so far, and I think they're going weekly after that.
Nice.
But,
Patton Oswalt.
highly recommend it. Yeah.
Great. Well, that was fun. What a great month. Next month, we're going into Big Bomb July.
We're doing more blockbusters, but big old failed blockbusters.
Yeah, we're doing some bombers. One of the biggest bombs starts out the month next week. Howard the Duck, baby. Howard the Duck.
Woo!
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Not to be outdone by Bruce Willis's Hudson Hawk.
I'm Hudson Hawk.
And then finishing it up with one of the biggest bombs of all time, Last Action Hero.
Which didn't deserve to be a bomb.
No, also misunderstood.
Yes.
Much like Mars Attacks, misunderstood.
Yeah, but you know what wasn't misunderstood? Howard the Duck. Oh, you're going to have to listen to that one. It is something.
It is.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Mary Mastrantano.
Kelly.
Her name's
McDonald.
McDonald.
So, yeah,
Kelly McDonald. She's so good.
Well, you know, Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, The Partridge Family, already in progress.